Assalamu alaikum. I'm writer Sajawal Saleem Paracha. Today, I have just arranged a random session. In this session, I would like to discuss story writing, and I would like to read some stories. I would like to tell you what is a story. So, true or fictional account of some occurrence is called story. This piece of fiction narrates a chain of related events. Its basic purpose is to entertain its readers. Story writing is a skill and requires literary taste and imagination. Our first story is a rescue party saves people caught in flood hit area. If you people like my video, then don't forget to like and subscribe my channel, and please share my videos with your friends and family members as well. So let's have a bird's eye view of this story. The title of the story is A Rescue Party Saves People Caught in Flood Hit Area. Last year, people of our village were enjoying sound sleep one night. It was the month of August, and monsoon had set in. On midnight it began thunder and lightning. Soon it turned into a heavy thunderstorm. The nearby stream of our village was flooded, and the water began to enter into our village. People kept sleeping until the water entered into their houses. The villagers awoke and began to cry with distress. Somebody informed the rescue team about the situation. Team promised to reach on the spot as soon as possible. Flood water was getting higher and higher. People climbed up their roofs. Some climbed up the trees to save their lives. Rescue crew reached on the spot in an hour and began to take villagers out of that flooded area. They took us to a nearby safe area and provided us tents and edibles. Some old villagers and children had fallen ill, so they were moved to the hospital. Luckily, all of the victims were recovered, and all of us thanked the rescue team. The moral of the story is God loves those who help others. In this, before telling you the story, of this rescue team, I told you about story writing. Account of some occurrence is called a story. This piece of fiction narrates a chain of related events. What is the basic purpose of a story? The basic purpose of a story is to entertain the readers. Story writing is a skill and requires literary taste and imagination. Okay, the second story is A Thirsty Crow. We used to read this story when we were in school, and we still enjoy the story. People enjoy the story, students enjoy the story, whether they are in school, whether they are in college, or they are in the university. Students enjoy the story. A Thirsty Crow. Once upon a time, it was a hot summer day, and a crow felt extreme thirst. He flew here and there in search of water anywhere. He was very thirsty and kept searching water. He reached in a garden. There, he found a pitcher. When he approached it, he could not find enough water to drink, as its level was low. So he thought of a plan to get the water. He found there a heap of pebbles. He started throwing pebbles into the pitcher. The level of water increased and his beak reached water easily. He drank water to his fill and felt happy. After quenching his thirst, he flew away. Okay, two morals are given for this story. He who finds seeks. And the second moral of the story is where there is a will, there is a way. I used to enjoy the story when I was in school. I used to enjoy the story when I was in college. And I have enjoyed the story when I was a university student. I am still enjoying it while reading the story. It has the story has given me a different taste at different moments. I don't think that the story is just for kids, for children. for school. The story is for everyone. It teaches us a lot at any age. Okay, the third story is also a very interesting story. The dog and his reflection. Once upon a time, there was a dog. He could not find anything to eat anywhere. He was tired of hunger and was passing by a butcher's shop where he saw a lot of meat. He decided to get a piece, so he stole a piece of meat and ran towards the jungle. Now, what happened? In the jungle, he had to cross the bridge over a stream. When he was crossing the bridge, he looked down the bridge and saw his reflection in its clear water. He took he took his own reflection as another dog with a piece of meat. He became greedy and wanted to piece of. He opened his mouth to bark at that dog, and his own piece of meat fell down in the water. What happens? Then he realized that he had seen there his own shadow in the water. He repented over his foolishness, but of no avail. So, three morals are given for this story. The first moral of the story is greed is a curse. Second moral of the story is don't be greedy. And the third moral of the story is in hand, two in the bush. Now I'm going to read the fourth story, which is The Fox and the Grapes. Once there was a fox. One day he searched for food here and there, but found nothing to eat. He had to pass where he saw ripe grapes, but those grapes were hanging at a certain height and he wanted to eat them to satisfy his hunger. He jumped at them again and again, but could not even. Soon he realized that he could not approach them by any means. He decided to give up the struggle. He left that vineyard, saying, "The grapes are sour and I cannot eat them." The moral of the story is the grapes are sour. Okay, the fifth story is is very interesting. The fox and the crow. Once upon a time, there was a hungry fox. He searched for food everywhere, but could not find. Let me read it once again. The title of the story is The Fox and the Crow. It begins uh, with an attractive line. Once upon a time, there was a hungry fox. The fox was hungry. You you can realize what happens when you feel hungry. He searched for food everywhere but could not find anything. Soon he reached in a garden where he saw a crow sitting on a tree in its beak. Fox's mouth watered and he hardly controlled himself. He thought of a plan to get that piece of cheese from the crow. He sat under the tree and flattered the crow, saying, "You are a beautiful bird, and I want to listen a song in your melodious voice. I will be pleased to listen your sweet tone." Let me read once again the lines said by the fox. Fox thought of a plan to get that piece of cheese from the crow. He sat under the tree and flattered the crow, saying, "You are a beautiful bird, and I want to listen a song in your melodious voice. I'll be pleased to listen your voice, to listen your sweet tone." Now what happens? The crow was impressed by Fox's words and liked his false praise. He opened his beak to sing for the fox. As he opened his the piece of cheese fell down. The clever fox picked it up promptly and went away, saying that, "Thanks for nice food. See you next time, Mr. Crow. Bye bye." There are two models given for this story. The first one is, an oily tongue seldom fails. An oily tongue seldom fails. And the second moral for the story is, beware of flatterers. Okay, let me revise the lesson we have studied today. We have discussed story, story writing. We have talked about the definition of a story, what is a story, what is the purpose of a story. True or fictional account of some occurrence is called a story. This piece of fiction narrates a chain of several events. The basic purpose of a story is, or you can say the basic purpose is to entertain the reader. What is story writing? Story writing is a skill and it requires taste, knowledge, and imaginations. The first story which saved people caught in flood hit area. The second story was a thirsty crow. The story we used to uh, read in school. We used to read when we were in college, and we still enjoy the taste of the story at different ages. Whether you are a child, you are a young man, you are a student, or you are a teacher, whenever you are going to read this story, you will taste a unique and different taste at every moment, at any and different moment. Then the third story was about a dog and his reflection, and the moral of the story was, don't be greedy. Greed is a curse. A bird in hand is worth two in a bush. The fourth story was about the fox and the grapes. Fox was he saw the bunches of grapes, but it was difficult for the fox to get those grapes, and he tried but failed, and ultimately he said, "The grapes are sour." I cannot. The fifth story was the fox and the crow. And the crow was so simple. The fox was clever, whereas the crow was not clever. The fox was hungry. He searched for food everywhere but could not find anything. Ultimately, he saw a crow. The crow was having a piece of cheese in its beak. The fox sat under the tree and flattered the crow, saying, beautiful bird, and I want to listen a song in your melodious voice. You are a beautiful bird, and I want to listen a song in your melodious voice. I'll be pleased to listen in your sweet tone. Then what happens? The crow was impressed by Fox's words and liked his false praise. He opened his beak to sing for the fox. As he opened his mouth, the piece of cheese fell down. As he opened his mouth, the piece of cheese fell down. The clever fox picked it up promptly and went away, saying, "Thanks for nice food. See you next time, Mr. Crow. Goodbye." Thanks a lot for reading these stories with me, for reading these stories with Sajawal, Ssparacha. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share my channel with others. Thanks a lot. Stay blessed.